Have you ever noticed how easily you wake up? How smoothly your body moves before your mind even arrives? How your day starts working before you start feeling anything at all? How everything seems fine on the outside, yet something inside stays oddly quiet? When was the last time you actually felt present inside your own body? Not productive, not capable, but alive. What if the reason nothing feels wrong is exactly why something is? What if functioning perfectly is hiding something far more unsettling? And what if the most dangerous state isn't falling apart, but never realizing you already disappeared? You wake up without resistance. Your body moves before your thoughts catch up. Routines activate automatically. Muscles remember paths your mind no longer questions. And everything appears stable, efficient, controlled. Yet somewhere beneath that smooth surface, something vital has gone silent. Not loudly, not dramatically, but in a way that is easy to miss even by yourself. You function flawlessly. You respond politely. You meet expectations. You perform competence like a second language. And because nothing is visibly broken, no one thinks to ask what it costs you to stay this intact. This is the psychology of people who are not falling apart, not burned out in the traditional sense, not visibly depressed, but subtly absent from their own lives. They are the ones who keep going, who don't complain, who seem grounded, resilient, strong, and reliable, yet feel strangely distant from their own existence, as if life is happening just slightly out of reach, like watching your days through glass. At first, this state feels like maturity, emotional control, discipline, maybe even strength. You learn early that being composed earns approval, that emotional intensity complicates things, that needs slow you down. And slowly, without realizing it, you optimize yourself for survival rather than experience. You stop asking how you feel and start asking what needs to be done. Over time, this becomes identity. You are not someone who struggles. You are someone who handles things. But handling life is not the same as inhabiting it. The nervous system does not distinguish between emotional danger and physical threat. When overwhelm becomes chronic, when expression feels unsafe or useless, the system adapts by numbing sensation while keeping performance online. You keep moving, talking, working, succeeding, but the internal volume turns down. Hunger becomes background noise. Fatigue becomes a minor inconvenience. Joy becomes conceptual rather than embodied. This is not a failure. It is a survival response executed with precision. The problem is not that it works. The problem is that it works too well. You don't collapse, so no reset is forced. You don't break, so no repair begins. You just continue, efficient and empty, productive and disconnected, admired and unseen. Over time, anticipation disappears. Future moments stop carrying emotional weight. Events become tasks. Conversations become exchanges. Relationships become roles you perform well, but never fully enter. You listen, you support, you respond appropriately, but something essential never quite lands. People may say you feel distant, hard to reach, present, but not really there, and you don't know how to explain that you are not withholding love. You are just disconnected from the signal that lets you feel it. Work rewards this state. Emotional distance allows clarity. Detachment allows endurance. You become the one who can handle pressure without complaint, which means pressure keeps finding you. Competence becomes a magnet. Saying no feels dangerous because usefulness has quietly become your proof of existence. Rest becomes difficult because stillness threatens to surface what you've been avoiding for years. So you simulate rest. You scroll, you watch, you distract, you optimize downtime into something productive. But nothing replenishes you because numbness cannot be refueled. Sleep doesn't restore what disconnection drains. Vacations feel strangely flat. Achievements register intellectually, but fail to land emotionally. You know you should feel something, and that gap becomes its own quiet grief. Your body keeps score, even if your mind doesn't listen. Tension, inflammation, unexplained fatigue, digestive issues, Chronic tightness signals that something is wrong, but never specific enough to demand immediate attention. You manage symptoms the same way you manage everything else, efficiently, quietly, without stopping the machine. The cruel paradox is that you feel safest this way. Vulnerability feels inefficient. Emotional openness feels risky. Slowing down feels irresponsible. Somewhere along the way, you learned that needing less kept you stable, and stability became your highest value. But stability without vitality is not peace. It is suspension. You cannot selectively numb pain without muting joy. The nervous system has no fine-tuned dial. When you lower sensitivity to survive, you lower it across the board. The highs flatten along with the lows. Life becomes manageable but tasteless. Safe but distant. Controlled but hollow. And because nothing is obviously wrong, this state can last for decades. You build a life that looks good, functions well, earns respect, yet feels strangely uninhabited. A palace with no one inside. Lights on, doors locked, silence everywhere. There is no quick fix for this, because it was never a problem to solve. It was a strategy to endure. Trying to optimize your way back to feeling only reinforces the same control that created the numbness. Recovery does not look like improvement. It looks like allowing inefficiency, slowing without purpose, feeling without resolution, letting sensation return before you know what to do with it. The first thing you feel will not be joy. It will be the backlog, the exhaustion, the grief of how long you've been gone from yourself. That is why most people stay functional instead, because functioning hurts less than re-entry. But the question remains, quietly waiting beneath every productive day, every controlled response, every efficient routine. How long can you survive without living before survival itself becomes the thing that costs you everything?